Hi, Angie here. Welcome back to my tutorial. This is number 1 of the Stamperia Blues mini album. The outside of this album measures 7.5 inches by 8.5 inches and has a 4-inch spine. This is on the outside. On the inside of this page, the pages measure 6.5 by 8.5. 6.5 by 8.5 by 8, I'm sorry. 6.5 by 8 with a 3 3/4 inch inside spine area. This leaves room this way for our hinge and our tabs that'll be hidden in our inside pages. Now, I told you earlier in the very first overview of the album that I put this too close on the spine. So I have a new hinge system we're going to do on this one that I think will work a lot better. And I got it from, I got the idea from the Scrap Queen. If you haven't seen her tutorials, they are absolutely amazing. She is a stunning artist, mini album artist, and she is quite incredible to watch. So I would highly suggest that you go watch her videos. She publishes them usually on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every week. So anyway, I got my hinge idea from her system that she uses, and it looked like it worked really well, and I really like it. So we're going to give it a try here. And it is well, we'll go over it in just a minute. So anyway, let's get started on this. Let me scoot this out of the way, and we'll scoot our paper out of the way. Oh, I have to tell you, I forgot to mention how much paper I had left out of the making of this album. This is it, using 2 packs of Stamperia Blues paper. So I have all of that. And I ended up making a few more photo mats to go in the album, and tags. This little tag has a tag in a tag. It says journey, destination, relax. We like to relax. And this was a little bird I cut off the front of the paper. So I made a double photo mat here and a single photo mat here. And the little bird, he works as a tuck spot. So anyway, that was all that was left. And let's see here. Yes, my microphone is on. So much to think about. So we're going to start today with the base pages and our book. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to put these 2 sheets together. But very first, we need to cut 2 pieces of chipboard at 7.5 by 8.5. And we need to cut a spine at 3 3/4 by 8.5 inches. I bought this this chipboard from scrapbook.com. It's quite thick. It looks like it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. If you are cutting this kind of chipboard with an X-Acto knife or a razor knife, the most important thing to remember is don't force it. Just cut slowly, and use something strong to cut along. This is a metal ruler with a nice metal edge and cork on the back, so it holds still. I really appreciate that it is like that. It's pretty tough to cut through. I wouldn't recommend using your cutting machine unless it is appropriate for this thick a chipboard. So my cat is behind us. My cat's name is Luigi. We have 3 cats, but this one is the craft room kitty, and he is over chewing on my cardstock because it still has plastic on it. So he loves to chew on the plastic things, of course. But you'll probably see Luigi. He is the king of this room, and he makes it his business to get into everything. So I wanted to tell you that I'm using artisan cardstock from Country Craft Creations. I'm not doing this video for them. This is all on my own. I use a diverse amount of products in my items. You'll see me pull from Tim Holtz, the Recollections collection, Dollar Store. I use quite a diverse amount of things in my products. I do try to keep the cost down, but this paper is worth every cent, and you can get it at Country Craft Creations. I use white, cream, black, red, and blue. They have several other colors, including some grays. I'm also going to use the cream color fabric, or ivory. We're going to use the Stamperia blues, of course. And I'm going to use this kind of purple gray cardstock that I bought at Michael's in a pack. It is not a solid core, so you will have to muss up the edges a little bit with some distressing ink to cover up that white cardstock, unless you like it showing. Now in this album, I didn't like it showing. The Stamperia Blues is kind of a distressed, I was going to say fabric, because it reminds me of fabrics because of the texture in it. But the paper is kind of a distressed paper, and it's just so wonderful. So this one was by, let me grab it. Oh, see if I can knock everything else off the shelf. This one is called Smoke. It was a paper pad block, Recollections. It is textured. I like that it looked like a linen texture. I bought it at Michael's, and I think I paid about $5 pad form. It has several different colors. There's 6 of each color in this pack. The first go around I used a darker gray. This time I'm going to use this kind of purple gray because I'm out of the other color anyway, but I like to use something a little bit different if I'm going to make a duplicate album. So let's get started. We will do the base of the book first. The one thing about doing the base of a book first is it gives you an empty spine to have to fill. Now here's one that I still am working on, but it's empty, and I know I have to fill this. The pages I'm making for it are pretty fat, so they'll fit in here very nicely. But anyway, so this tells me that I'm still working on this one. And because it tells me that, it keeps me thinking about it. And I don't leave it like I do my quilts, which is as a UFO, an unfinished project. So I don't want any UFO scrapbooks. I want to just keep going with them. I love paper, and I do collage art with it and different things. I just love to play with paper. So what I have done here is I have added a 1/4 inch piece of score tape. It always has this other name on it, but it is called score tape, and it's SCORTAPE. I get it on Amazon. It seems to be about the cheapest place you can buy it. Now I'm also going to use art glitter glue with this. It dries clear. It is supposed to be a permanent water-based adhesive. It dries completely acid-free, so it will be photo safe. The art glitter glue dries quite fast, so you have to work fast with it. I'm going to use it over the top of my score tape to help me situate this. Gives me some wiggle room. So let's get started. I'll try to talk my way through this. I don't know if I will, but I'll sure try. So I'm just going to go right down along the edge here and give it a little bit of space. Put my pin where I can find it. If you're concerned about not being able to get it on there straight, your papers together, there's a lot of ways to do this. I always forget what seems to be a really simple way, but I end up doing it this way every time. So I guess you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But I don't know, maybe I could learn a new trick. So here we go. I just use that as a nice straight area to help me get that together. Now with score tape, it's really important that you use your bone folder to push that tape and that glue into that paper. It does get a shiny spot on it. We're going to cover that up, so it doesn't really matter. It's going to be under the spine, and we're not going to see it. You might see it right down here, I suppose. Wipe the little extra glue spots off. If it really shows, you can take your little tool and carefully grab it and scrape it off. Don't press that into your paper too hard, though. It will make a permanent hole. So now we've cut our spine pieces, and I have marked this spine and front. So I want to put this one over this way, and this one, well, let's see. It's going to go this way and this way. The reason I did that was because when I cut it, it got a little rougher, so I want that at the back of the book where I won't be looking at it. And I'm going to take the spine section. I'm going to center it on these pieces of paper where they come together. I would like them centered on my spine. So I'm just going to kind of center this up here. And I'll give myself a little line by putting my ruler here along the edge of the paper. And that'll give me a nice firm hold right there. I have already put score tape on the back of this. Excuse my reach, and I'll show you what I used. I use this. It's, I think it's 5 inches. Yeah, it's 5 inches wide. It's just too expensive to buy this way. After I use it up, I'll just go to buying the 1/2 inch strips again. But I have it for right now, so I'm going to use it. And I have pressed this score tape down into this spine. And you can see where it's light and dark, where it's really nice and dark. It is really adhered well, and I have really pressed on this thing. So I'm still going to use a little bit of glue. And of course, I can't glue a straight line, so that's why it's all under paper. And the reason I'm doing this, once again, is to give myself some wiggle room, just in case I mess it up. It's so easy to mess them up. You know, all it would take is somebody coming in and, like the cat, and chewing on something, and I'd be thinking about him instead of this. So I have my ruler down here. I want to make sure it's really nice and straight. I'm going to set this up against it. And just lay it down. I'm going to press it in with my bone folder. I'm going to come out to the corners, let that glue squish out. And somewhere I have a cloth. Just kind of clean up as I go along. It's really not a whole lot necessary right here, but. And on the back, I have added score tape. I think that this gives sufficient coverage. I will still use glue with it. So we'll peel off our score tape here. I'm going to try and hit my garbage cans. On one side of me, I have a garbage can, and on the other, I have a recycling can. Hopefully I get the recycling in the correct can. So that goes to garbage. Okay, we have that one ready. Now we're going to take a 1/4 inch score tape, and this is just a help, but you do want to get it on straight or it's no help at all. I'm going to put my 1/4 inch score tape here. This is going to remind me that I need a 1/4 inch space between my spine and my front and back covers. But you do need to be careful laying it down. If you make it all wonky, it's not going to help you anyway. So it's best to take your time and put it down nicely. Since we have it there, let's go ahead and put it on this side as well. Got a little string attached there. And let's be careful putting this side down. I see another fuzzy stuck in here. There we go. Let's get that out of there or we'll have a bump in our book. You don't need that. So start it right up against the spine. Keep bringing it down right against the spine. There you go. The one nice thing about score tape is that with a tool like this, it breaks off easy, so you don't have to take a scissor to it all the time. It will come up on it will tear off on its own, with your help, of course, not on its own. That would be like magic, wouldn't it? So, once again, a little bit of glue to help me, just in case I mess it up. It happens. I wouldn't really want it to be crooked. The tape and the glue together kind of gives me a double assurance that the album is going to hold together. I volunteer at a genealogy society, and we think hundreds of years in advance, you know, on how things should last. So we're thinking forever, and in our preservation and stuff that we do. So I kind of start thinking that way about my pictures and photo albums and stuff like that that I want to make or that I already have. I got some of my mom and my aunts and my dad's old pictures and stuff, and they're all on black. The old black paper was kind of like, felt like a cotton or something, and it has turned the pictures all black. It's really quite unfortunate, but we've removed most of them from my sisters and my niece and I. We've removed most of those from the books and are making copies. So let's carefully set this down. We want these to line up. There we go. Looking good. Okay, it's gonna go right about there. I guess I got my paper just slightly crooked. And here we go again, removing the score tape. Oh, you'll know if it's not adhered well on a corner or something, because everything will want to come up together. And your tape will want to come up and rip your paper, and this was an old clay tool I had. I used to play with clay a little bit. And it works really good for this. One thing I love about it is it has this metal end, and if you got a piece of score tape that just isn't quite down yet, that little metal end really puts it down good. So anyway, here we go. Let's get our glitter glue on here. As a tip, before you start an album, you really should make sure your glue is full, or have 2 bottles like I do. Make sure that your glitter glue is free of knots and bumps and whatever else it gets inside of there, clumps. That way your glue is working really well and you won't become frustrated by it. Now, I'm really bad about it, but you're supposed to stick the pin in this every time you put it down. I don't do that. I wait till it clogs up on me, and then I go back and unclog it. Sort of like it's doing right now. So it's just a matter of running that pin back down in there. And I do try to shake it up a lot. There, now it's working a lot better, isn't it? The tip kind of sticks to the tape, so it's doesn't glide along like it does on paper. All right, front, just checking my area to be sure I have it in the right place. Okay, push the ruler up against your spine there. You don't want to glue your 1/4 inch down. Let's see. There we go. Looks good. So let's flip this over, and that's not a crack, that's the where I put the 2 pieces of paper together and the glue overran. It's not going to matter that this gets glossy because we're going to cover it. Because the glue was drying quicker than I could get over here and spread it through, it showed a little bit. But like I said, we're going to cover this with paper. And that'll cover up any bumps and bruises on the paper, or this high sheen that it's getting from doing this. Okay. Now, we're going to cut our paper down to about 1 inch around the edges. So I'm going to take a sharpened pencil. I'm going to run this along here. Give it a 1 inch area to cut. It doesn't have to be exact, but I do find that I worry about it if it's not cut straight. So I do try to cut it straight, otherwise it kind of makes me crazy. But I also will stop thinking about it after a while if I don't. So I'm just going to do the best I can, and remember that nothing is perfect. Sorry I'm out of the camera a little bit here, but you'll see me coming back into it now. A little glue there. These are new scissors. I have to learn how to use them, I guess. Cut, 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 cut. Ah, look at that. A little bit of fraying there. I'm going to go ahead and fix that right now. I always think I'll just start cutting the paper to size, but I never do. I find all this relaxing anyway. It's like, I don't know. It is just kind of relaxing. There we go. So back here I have a tool that I also like to use. And I got it from www.colorwaysart.com. And it just makes the corners easier for me. I just draw my lines. I know where I have to cut. So I appreciate tools quite a bit. I like tools. Whether I need them or not, I just like them. Okay, we're going to go ahead and cut this. I think you'll find as you do many albums that every one of us does our albums just a little bit different. Yeah, they, you know, the base of them, putting our spines together and stuff, and the outside of it. But we all have a little bit different way we do it. And you will find something that works great for you too. And that's the nice thing about it, is it's an art form that is really quite individualized, and it's just fun. Paper's fun. It smells good, it feels good, it crinkles, it has all kinds of noises. So let's go ahead and take this piece out. So it doesn't get stuck in there. It'll be a little bit tight because it is stuck in that spine. Okay, we need some 1/2" tape. I'm going to finish using up these two little pieces. Oh, that one's done. Oh, that one's almost done. Let's not. We'll start a new one. That's how I end up with these little half pieces. Let's make sure this is in the screen. And we're going to put score tape along the edges. I'm going to place it on here as well as right out here. The little strings you keep seeing on my tape and you know, things like that are from the burlap I used in the album. Now you can see we've got this really cool edge already cut for us, so let's go over here and stick it right on that edge. Hope my head's not in the way. If it is, I apologize. We'll pull that off. And we have another one. It's going to go this way. It does not have to be perfect. It's all going to get glue. Sorry about my gonna word. I'm still gonna use it, I suppose. I am trying to say going to. I will probably lose my tool every now and then because that's something that I do quite a bit. You get going here and things just get lost. You don't know where they go. Something happens to them. They fall into the abyss. I started with a clean table today, and I've already cleaned it several times. I was going to start this video at 11 a.m. and now it's like 2 p.m. because I got interested in working on those extra cards for the book that I already made. Okay, look at that. Ooh, nice. It really does not take long to make your outside of your book. It's not one of my favorite things to do, but I do have to say that as I've gotten to working on these a little more, that I actually kind of enjoy it. There's some more burlap. Hair's in the way. Oh, another one. I should have got a vacuum cleaner in here, and they're a little bit of everywhere. Okay. Let's shake it up. That's one thing about the burlap. I love the look of it, but it's kind of has a flaw in its hairiness. That's the spine cover. Okay, what shall we do next? Let's start up here by removing this score tape and this score tape and this score tape. And let's go ahead and remove, let's not remove that one yet. Let's just give this a little work. Don't paste it down yet, you're not ready. Okay. We gave it just a little bit of work, trying to stretch the fibers in the paper. And now we're going to add just a little bit of glitter glue right around the edge. I do this because it softens up the fibers a little more, and it presses it into the edge of the book as well on the edge. So I do like to do that. I don't think we really need it there, but I'm going to go ahead and put it up here too. You can see I'm just squiggling it through. If you have pieces of score tape sticking off the end, fold it in. You don't want that to cause you a problem later. Like up here I missed, and it's going to be okay. We're going to cover it anyway. Okay. Now I'm going to work those fibers a little bit more to make the book. That looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and start at the center and start pulling that over now, and we'll start stretching the fibers on this upper side. And you can feel them start to give. Like, wow, right there, really nice. You can feel them starting to give in and comply with the pressure. And then you want to pull it in tight so that it gets up along that edge good. There we go. So let's go ahead and do that edge first with our bone folder. And while you're there, you have this little part of the corner. Can you see it? Right there? Sticking out. We need to fold that in. Otherwise it's going to make a icky bump sticking out of your book right there at the corner. So we're going to fold that in. It's very simple. Take your bone folder and just wrap it around. Real easy. And then press that down right there. So now it looks like this. So let's go ahead and go over here and fold that one in. And make sure it's pressed down good. And now we're going to go to the opposite side. Let's pull off this score tape. Oh, there's another burlap hair. And we're going to take off this one, as well as this one. Now we're going to work those fibers again. Just trying to work them so that they start loosening up. They have a lot more give in them. Yeah, much, much better. And let's use our glitter glue. Did I tell you that glitter glue has no glitter in it? I don't know if I did or not. Anyway, there is no glitter in it. I think it's just amazing. So it is, because it's so amazing, it's called glitter. But the company that made it sure made a nice glue. Excuse my head. Is my head in there? Every once in a while I look up to see if my head's in there, and I haven't seen myself in the camera yet, so I don't know. Okay, let's work it just a little bit more. Oh yeah, you can feel it. It really starts to give good. So let's remove this score tape. And remembering what I said, oops, I just tossed that in the wrong can, about folding over your tape if it's sticking out. You don't want it to cause a problem in your work. Okay, now let's start working it over this side. I have had paper crack on me, but not this artisan cardstock. It's been nice not having it all be crackly. Look at that. My score tape sticking on the outside. Don't want that because I really like my corners to look nice, so. Aww. There we go. Okay, got it. Now start pulling your paper in. little by little. Oh, my glue must have started to dry out too fast when I was worrying about this tape over here. Okay, let's use our bone folder to go along the edge. And let's press these fibers together into our glue. And let's remember to fold in these corners. Well, that one's going to make a little bump anyway. I can see it. So if you see that bump come up, just press it down in there. Make it go where you want it to go. Okay, now let's go over and get this one while we're at it. Oh, bone folder stuck. I'm not very good left-handed, but you do find you have to use your left hand and right hand and left hand and right hand. So let's see. I'm going to work this a little bit towards me. And I'm going to go ahead and work that one while I'm at it. Okay. Can you see it again? Let's start over here on the left. We'll run our glue. There we go. And let's start working the glue into the side of the book and working it up over the edge till it starts getting nice and loose. Start in the center. And there we go, corner one. And corner two. Little glue coming out there. That looks good. Okay, let's go over here. Let's tuck in our score tape that's showing. I guess we could have cut it off. That might have been a better idea, but usually I just tuck it in. And am I in camera? Okay, here we go. Add our little bit of glue here to loosen up the fibers. This time I will remember to put it here on the tape. Okay, let's start loosening that. Those fibers. And pulling that paper over where it belongs. Look at that. I have a little bit of extra paper there where I cut it with my scissors, but it is going to be covered up. But if it drives you nuts, clip it off. There we go. Good enough. Okay, look at that. Isn't that wonderful? We'll have a little glue spot over here. It's gonna get covered. It'll be fine. Okay, that part of it is done. Now, let's work on pushing, because we have this tape in here. Let's work on pushing this piece of the spine down towards that tape. That's going to help us later when we put the inside in. And look at that. Wonderful. Make sure it has some good give in it. It folds over nice and straight. Working right into that side of the book, nice and even. You'll see that I use a couple of different bone folders. When I score my paper, I use this one. I like how it is not so sharp, and I'm wearing it down actually. This one, every time I score with it, I put a hole in my paper. So I don't allow myself to score with that one anymore, because I just destroyed my paper. Okay, I think we have it. Excuse me. Goodness. Time for a drink of water. I got my mic up close to my neck, so you can probably hear me swallow that. Okay, we are ready to put on the inside cover. So, let's do that. We will need some black paper. There's one. I have more artisan cardstock coming. I'll be glad to see it, because I think I'm running out. Okay. So we're going to cut this paper, and we are going to fit it right in here. Just like we did with this. So let's see, let's line it up right about there. Oh, we really don't want those on top of each other. So I think we'll go here and here. We don't want them on top of each other because we don't want one giant lump there. Now, I told you with measuring that I like to do it this way. And the reason is because these tools, even though they're supposed to be accurate, you might be using a vintage one, or I might use a vintage one that was my grandfather's, and it's just sometimes does not work. Okay, so we're going to cut that one over there, and we're leaving just, oh, I don't know, an 1/8 to a 1/16 there. It's hard to see with the black on black, isn't it? Yeah, and it's hard for me to see it being way over there, but we'll try it. No, I don't like that one. I think it needs to come in a little bit. Right about there. So let's just see what it measures. I lost a tool. I told you I would. Well, oh, there it is. It's upside down. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. 8 and 8 and what? Just about 8.5. And that is the size of my book, so we do want it to be more like 8 7/16. Let's see. 8 7/16 still puts it right on the edge. I think we want to come in a little bit. Let's do 8 3/8. 8 3/8. Yeah. Okay, let me zip over across the way here. I have a table near me, and my cutting mat is over here. Eight 3/8. That would be that one. Eight. 3/8 should be right there. Cross your fingers. Are your fingers crossed? Oh, look. It's perfect. Thank goodness. Hate to waste paper. And then we're going to cut it at we're going to cut it at 10 1/4. The reason I want to do that is to bring it into this section. Yeah, because I don't want to put it over the top, but I will run this way and that way. And then this will get covered up by the spine. Oh. Yeah. We're going to go just that side of it with this one, and this one will come just to this side. So that is going to be 10 and let's go 1/4 over that way. Oh, the light's changing in the room. I'm getting the afternoon light now. So let's go to 10 and 1/16. We're going to cut them at both at the same time. I'm going over to my cutter again, but my microphone is with me so you can still hear me. 10 and that should be 10. Oh, I better move it just a little bit more, just in case. Okay, I'm back. Look. Let's see if it works. This side is good. Yay! Oh yay, oh yay! And there we go. Let's see where the center of our spine is going to be. I have a measuring down here as well. And let's see. Set on the 20, and it goes to 24 there. Right on the crease. Is that right? It doesn't look right. It never looks right. Two. Yeah, if it goes to 4, then it is 2. So the reason I'm saying it's going to 4 is because I'm putting this in the middle here to here. So this is the center. We're going to want our center. We're going to put a light piece right there. This is where our center is going to show us for our spine. And we're also going to want a 1/4 of an inch mark from the bottom and from the top. I think it's a 1/4. That looked like a 1/4. We will erase those. And we'll need a 1/4 up here. That's where our spine will. That'll give us a placement for our spine. Does not look like a 4th right there. There we go. That's better. Yeah. Okay, it's going to get covered up right now anyway. But, so I don't know what I'm doing. It's okay. The most important thing is that we have a little mark here for our centers. Okay, let's take our paper and find our 1/2 inch score tape. And our tearing tool. There we go. I'm always flipping stuff around so it's closer to me. We'll have to put a little glue on the edge there. And I think we will go ahead and put one here. One right here in the center. And one over here. Whoops! I'm trying to tear my paper. Oh. What a crazy thing to do. It's gonna be under the spine, thank goodness. Oh my gosh. I hope it's still recording up there. I wonder if it is. I don't know. It says it is. Are you recording? I guess it is. If it's not, I have to do this all over again. Oh gosh, that'd be terrible. Then I'd feel like I had to make a whole nother book. Oh, I don't know how to tell if it says record. And it hasn't shut off. If it wasn't recording, it would shut off, right? Okay. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to. Oh, no. Shh. Be very, very quiet while I detach these two pieces of paper. Oh, see? A little stress goes too far. Too far. No stressing while you're doing papers. It's not recording. We'll do it again. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Oh, I'm thinking that I love summer, you know. But gosh, I'm starting to think about Christmas music already. It's probably because I found some old Christmas music, and it was some stuff my aunt had. And her daughter gave it to me. And anyway, it's some really old Christmas music, and I'm hoping to make digitals out of it, because it is past its copyright. And there's just some that I have never heard of, and so I hope to share them. It shouldn't be too long, and I'll get my digital set up. But we'll see. I have an Etsy site, but right now I just use it to make purchases. Eventually, I'm going to get some digitals on it. I've been working on them. I've been working on a digital paperback and learning how to do that. It's pretty easy. This paper is going to get covered. I'm not too worried about it. I am worried about getting it put down correctly. So let's start right over here on this corner. And I think it should be right about there. And right about there. Right about there. Oh, close, very close, but no cigar for me. Okay, let's use the bone folder on this. Get it as unlumpy as possible. Okay. Ta-da! Okay. Now this one, the one I tried to ruin, remember? By stabbing it. So let's get the tape on this one. I hope my camera doesn't shut off because I'm so close to making this a complete video. I have no desire to edit it. I want to just put it on like it is. The very first video I made, I had to edit it. It took me days. No, that's not true. It took me over a week because I had to relearn my editing program. I haven't played with it in years. So I had to relearn how to edit in Photoshop. and Photoshop elements. And I tell ya, it was hard. It was hard learning how to slice up a video and make it work. I mean, I made them before, but you know, it was when the kids were little, and now our kids are in their 30s, and gosh, did I date myself? Ah, sorry about that. Don't want to scare you. I am still young. I just had my birthday and I still am young. And then when I reach 102, I will still say I'm young. Okay, let's remove this. And this. And that. That. Oh, some of my tape came up. Let's squish it down. And let's get rid of some of that paper so it is out of our way. And my glue probably is starting to plug up. Oh, definitely. Oops, be careful about putting your pen in there. I've stabbed myself, I don't know how many times, with it, with the pen. Very uncomfortable. But here we go. Oh, it has a clot thing in it. Okay, switching over to my other bottle. I hope it works. Oh, and it doesn't. So we have to make this one work. And I checked both of these too. Okay. I just really like to get a little glue on this tape, just in case I mess it up. You know, like accidentally drop it, and then it glues itself down permanently to the wrong place in the book. Because then you feel bad and you feel like you gotta start over if it leaves a big scar. So we don't want any big scars. I am trying to work fast because my glue is acting weird. Okay, here we go. Oh, I got a glue spot on it. Darn it. Well, it's gonna get covered anyway, so it's all right. Okay. We want to come over here to this corner. We want it to line up down here. Oh, I put a little glue thing sticking out over there. Cross your fingers, everybody. Did it work? I'm afraid to look. Can I peek now? Okay. Well, it was very close. A little bit off. It's not gonna matter. because it's far enough inside the book here that it works. It's up a little higher than I wanted it. You see, I gave it the space down here and not up there. But I'm not on that side of the table, so we just have to do with it the way it is. Okay, now back to this crease area. We have to get that to work right. So let's start by creasing it again, rubbing it back and forth. Slowly bring your book up. That tape that we used down in there earlier now is going to try to adhere to this paper that we're pushing in there. That would be nice because it will give us a really nice outer spine. That doesn't wrinkle. But you never know until you open the book and take a look on the outside to see how it looks. Oh, doesn't that look nice though? I mean, look at that crease. It's beautiful. Okay. Let's give it some wiggle wiggle. Kind of work it back and forth a little bit. Stretch those fibers. Oh yeah, you can feel it give. Very nice. Now this time I don't want to fold it clear over. I'm always afraid to do that because I don't want it to tear on the spine. And there's really no reason for it to have to go over that far. Okay. Let's work on this side. You can see that what we're doing is stretching those fibers down in there. You can hear the book giving little creaks. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can. So it's kind of creaking as the fibers stretch. Oh, fun. Look at that. Oh, there it goes. Oh, you can feel it give. I love that feeling. Okay, shall we peek at the outside? Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Fantastic. Now we're not going to finish the front of the book yet. I do want to pop in and show you how I want to do the spine. So this is very similar to how Scrap Queen did hers. However, this is an example. I have measured them out at 1 3/4 by 8 inches. And then I scored it at, what I scored at? I scored it at 3/4 of an inch. And then, let's see, yeah, 3/4 of an inch, 1 1/4 inch. So that gives us 3/4, a half, and a half here. Then on the outside of it, I put this book cloth. Now the reason I did that, this is the example I did in blue, or aqua. What is that color? Emerald? So you can see that the book cloth And this is the same book cloth we'll probably use on the outside. The book cloth, although it will shred down here until it hits that glue under there, it makes a really sturdy spine. And this can go back and forth too. And that's what we want. This part of it right here is going to adhere inside of our sleeves. So I'll show you how I did that. I took my book cloth and I glued my 1 3/4 inch by 8 inch piece of paper down to it. I didn't use tape, I used all glue. You do have to make sure that it gets right out to the edge for the book cloth. Now, I buy my book cloth at Dick Blick Arts, dickblick.com. If you're in Oregon and you live up in the Portland area, there is a Dick Blick up in Portland. Very nice store too, by the way. Then we trim this. We trim it nicely. I have to remind myself. Trim carefully. I suppose you could put it on your cutting mat over there and cut it that way too. It'd be nice and straight. Not that it's going to really matter. You do want it to be neat. And that is why I chose to use a black on this one, is because my book is black. The inside is a base in the black color. The other thing you can use is Tyvek. If we have time, I'll show you the Tyvek. Listen to that book cloth. Rub it in good. Get that paint to come right out to the side. Or, not paint, glue. I'm thinking paint. Think Dick Blick and I think paint. Paint, paint. Okay. So now let's score that at 3/4 of an inch. Let's score the paper side first. Can you see it? Okay, right here. 3/4 of an inch. And then at 1 1/4. So that gives you 3/4, half, and a half. Now we're going to flip it right on over, score back over the 3/4 line. This is going to help stretch those fibers of the book cloth so that it will operate both directions nicely. Okay, now let's fold over this 3/4 side. Work those fibers again. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Work, work, work. Here we go. And I am going to crease it the other way as well. If it's going to break, I want it to do it right now before I make the book. But it's not. It's coming together very nicely. Now let's score this 1/2 inch. or we already scored it. Let's bone fold it, work those fibers over. And let's work on the other direction as well. This is the part that's going to go into the inside of the page. There we go. Okay, now you see that line right there? We're going to cut that just right above it, right above the bump, and just a tiny little bit. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing over here. We don't want a deep cut, we just want a little bit. Our page is going to fit in there. So you need to cut 4 of those. Not a blue one. You do not have to cut them out of book cloth. Like I said, you could use Tyvek. Where's the Tyvek? I bought it at, well, I don't know what happened to it. Oh, yes, I do. Here it is. I bought Tyvek envelopes. So you can get this at Amazon. The inside is white. Tyvek will work like the book cloth. It's not supposed to tear. It's heavy-duty mailing envelopes. A lot of times you'll get them in the mail. Somebody will send you something. If you use the Tyvek, just apply it, the white side, towards your cardstock, and you won't see it. We're going to cover these parts anyway. So anyway, Tyvek works great. Or if you decide to, you can use the binding system that you really like. You don't have to use the one that I'm using. Use whatever works for you. Anyway, so there's that. The last thing we have to do is our base pages. Our base pages, you're going to want to cut 4 at 6.5 by 8 on the black paper. And then you're going to cut 4 at 6.5 by 9. And then you're going to score the 9 at a 1/2 inch and 8.5 inches. Let me show you. We're going to score with the 9-inch side at the top. We're going to score at a 1/2 inch and 8.5 inches. What is she doing, you say? I'm going to show you. I might show you different than you've learned, but I'm going to show you anyway. Okay, now people fold their pages different ways. I say fold it however it works best for you. Sometimes I fold them towards that lump, and sometimes, because I think they fold over better. And then sometimes I fold it back the other way because it didn't work like I wanted it to. So let's see if our base page is going to fit on our pocket. Oh, look at that. It's going to fit fine. Do you see that? So let's put that one together. Let's run our glue along here. We are not going to clip this corner. We want it to stay strong and sturdy for the base page. Oh, my glue's falling over. Okay, let's start over here. Boy, it's getting a little darker in here. Let's squish it around so it's nice and even. There. Let it fall on over. And there we go. And now we have a base page. Now, let's just take a look at this hinge. The 3/4 inch piece is going to go down on your spine. And let's make sure our page is going to fit. Perfect, look at that. It will only come down to just about that line. And this is going to allow a nice fold over. So, now that I've caught you up, do you need to see me do one more of these? Okay, I already have the others scored, so let me bend my score. Give them a good crease. This one feels smaller to me. I don't know why. Or larger maybe? Oh no, it's perfect. Look at that. Okay. Oh, my dog! Miss Libby! It's perfect. So we're going to go ahead and glue both sides down. Run our glue along these edges. We're almost there. Oh boy. And then this tutorial will be done. And then the next one will be starting on pages 1 and 2. We'll see how we do. Okay, one side at a time, please. Line up your corner and your base. Same over here. Don't want this paper sticking over that way. It's better to have it sticking over this way a little bit. Okay. That one feels like it went over a little bit. There we go. Oh, look at that. Very nice. And let's go ahead and do this one. Boy, I am so worried that that camera's not on. I don't like the way that did that. See, I didn't fold it over on that lump. That's why I like to fold them on the lump, because I think that they are better. I've never had this paper do that. I was probably too harsh with it. Worked it too fast. Get our glue off on the inside there, because if it's on the outside, if it's on the inside, our envelope will glue together. Our page will be glued to both sides. And then we would not have a pocket page, would we? We'd have a closed page. A permanently private page. Now, if you're worried about the glue drying before you get over there, just do one side at a time. Find what works best for you, and then, you know, keep working at it. It all comes together after a while. It's really fabulous to work with paper. Paper is forgiving, very forgiving. And I think I've told you before that if it feels like there's a mistake, there's a way to fix it. Okay, that's going to be okay. Okay. Now we will not put our spine in until after we get our pages made. So if you have a cat like I do, don't let him run off with the pieces. Give him a clamp together and put him someplace safe. That's what I will have to do. Actually, I have a box I work out of. I'll show you in just a minute, if the camera allows. Let me show you. I'm already putting it together. This is a Dollar Tree find. You can see I had my stuff in it from last time. And I'm already starting to put the things in it that might be used for this one. I know we're going to use beads. I used this last time. I think I might use this one this time. We'll see. So I keep the basket, and as I cut paper and cut items out, they all go in here. And you remember the roses and lace? Well, I'm working on that. I'm waiting for ribbon, but I'm working on this one too. It is in the planning stages. Its base pages are cut out. So if you were looking forward to it, it is coming up after this tutorial. It is paper I've wanted to use for a long, long time. Okay, I'm going to fold this towards that little lump. Gently. I'm going to be gentle. My husband's coming in and leaving me notes. He's being silly. Asking me if I want nachos. Yes, I do want nachos for dinner. I'm getting hungry. I forgot. For lunch, though, I had these giant blueberries and a small bowl of cottage cheese. But the blueberries, wowza, they were huge. And I know people will tell me not to do this, but I do it anyway. I rinse them in really hot water because it gets the juices flowing in them. And even if they're kind of sour, it makes them sweet. So I rinse them in nice hot water and shake them out good and throw them in with my cottage cheese. And it's wonderful. I love it. I didn't used to like blueberries, but I don't know, something happened. My palate changed. I love just about everything to eat. So that means I have to be careful that I don't eat junk food too often. I love really dark chocolate. And I think it's really wonderful to eat. I love really dark chocolate that has sea salt on it. And if I'm having a really bad day, you know, kind of one of those, gosh, I need some chocolate day, I will actually go down and buy a super dark chocolate with sea salt. It's right on the candy bar. And I'll have a couple of squares of that, and it helps. I know. We're not supposed to do that. But I do love it. Well, it's not very often. And I found that if I do it that way, that I do not crave chocolate all the time. I am a chocolate craver once I eat something like a brownie or a Tootsie Roll, regular candy bars. I will start on chocolate. But I have found if I just buy myself the dark chocolate candy bar, eat a few cubes of that, I'm good. Good. Because I actually get the kind of chocolate that I'm probably craving. Okay, as dirty as they look, they're going to get covered. We have our binding system done. It is all ready to go. We are going to clip it together, just like that. And we are going to clip together pages 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because we're not going to use those right now. So clip them together. They're going to go in your basket over there or somewhere where your cat won't get them, if you have a cat like mine. So I'm going to clean up my table and we'll see you soon. I'll have another video in a day or so. Takes a while to upload them, and hopefully I don't have to edit, and hopefully this one recorded. So see you later. Bye bye.